Bam, live. Welcome to day 43 of the AI Prompt Challenge. It's good to have you here. All right. And this is a good one. I don't know why it's so confusing. I get it. Like numbers, math are challenging for most people, right? You think about school. What it is, in my opinion, is people in general, right, do not like to have to work hard and think. Most guys would rather be doing, moving, right? That's why kids like to go out and play, and guys want to be in sports. Many guys just over time haven't gotten to a place where they can sit and be still and stay focused because that doing that causes them extreme discomfort, right? So it's no wonder that most guys struggle with numbers because in order to understand numbers and math, you need to calm yourself, sit down, analyze, right? You can't be moving all chaotic. It's why most guys would just rather be on the job site. So first, let's understand that. The average guy would much rather every day, even I know owners of 3 million, 10 million, whatever. Doesn't matter how successful your company is, there are a lot of owners who, given the choice, would rather be out on the job working. They don't want to earn that wage and they don't want all that responsibility, but they like the fact that they don't have to think that way, that they could just say, hey, I just want to go out in the field. I want to cut some lumber. I want to build some walls. Most guys don't want to have the intellectual battle that it takes to finance and work with numbers and people. I get it, but you need to understand why that's the case. So if you say to yourself, I've always been bad with numbers, I've never was good at math, that might have been true. And the story that you can start telling yourself going forward is, I may have been bad. It doesn't mean that I have to be bad. I can do this, right? I can figure it out. I can get better. I have the ability is what I want you to understand. You actually have the ability to do it better than you have in the past. So with that said, let's get into day 43. My screen settings have reset. So that takes a minute, right? Doesn't always look the best. All right. If you struggle and hate numbers, you don't have to do them. Somebody can tell them to you. You can hire an accountant, a bookkeeper. I wouldn't necessarily suggest that you don't learn how to do it, but you don't have to be the one figuring it out all the time. Now, you should, right? Because there's a reason why a lot of bookkeepers steal business owners' money, because business owners don't take the time to analyze their money. So it's super easy for the bookkeeper to start stealing and siphoning and embezzling the money because the contractor's too busy out working and doesn't want to be bothered. So whatever. You should be warned that you should learn how to do it. It's a discipline. Learning numbers is like any other skill. You can do it. Just because you didn't like it when you were young doesn't mean that you can't do it as you get older. You just have to come up with the mindset to say, you know what? I'm a smart, intelligent motherfucker, and I'm going to figure this out. All right. So with that said, let's look here. So we want to use AI to help us learn some of the three most important financial terms and the three key financial reports that really any business owner, but especially in remodeling and contracting, you need to master. All right. So why does this matter? See it all day long. Most contractors and remodelers, they're busy, but they're broke. They're only one or two jobs away from the whole system falling apart. It's like a house of cards. You're taking Paul's deposit to finish off Peter's job because you underbid this, you sacrificed on that, you forgot, you screwed this up, you had to have the guys do that, this guy stole from you, that happened, you got robbed, whatever. So when you give a discount, understand this, run the numbers one day. Ask AI, put this in there. Say, I'm a remodeling contractor. I generally like to make 30 to 50% profit. I am considering offering a homeowner a 10% discount because they want to pay cash, whatever your thing is. I'm going to give them a discount. You ask AI, how much do I have to charge for future jobs to make up for that 10% discount that you want to offer, you're going to be shocked. Don't go around giving these silly little discounts thinking that you're winning jobs, because for you to make that up in the long term, it's detrimental. It's almost impossible. Because think about this. If you're already having trouble charging for an appropriate amount to get the job in the first place, and now you're going to discount it even more, you got to understand you're being sold by the homeowner. There are a lot of homeowners that are just going to say, it doesn't hurt to ask. Hell, Bill doesn't seem to have any sales skills. I think I'll ask him for that 10, 20% discount. I'll tell him that I need it. I'll tell him I got, like, they have stories and they just see if you fall for it. And a lot of you do. So I would say you learn to get a little bit better at sales and stop giving these discounts if you don't have the appropriate margin built in. Now, as you grow in your business, you can start factoring in a discount amount into your job when you propose it in the first place, so that when the homeowner asks for a discount, you give them the discount, but now you're actually selling the job for what you originally wanted to sell it for. Do you understand? You build your discount into your initial price. Then when the homeowner wants the discount or you want to offer a discount, you're actually now selling it where it should have been the whole time. All right. So let's look at this. Let's say you sell a job. It's a $50,000 kitchen. So you're like, man, I must be making good money. I'm going to get myself, I don't know, $15,000 deposit. That's gone, right? By the time you pay for the materials, the subs, the labor, the overhead, if you're lucky, you might keep what, $4,000? And maybe that's even before taxes. Yeah, you made some money because you paid yourself, but you would, so like you're basically only being paid as an employee. I mean, what did the business make? So real contractors, they know their business. They sharpen the pencil, as the saying goes. There's a reason why at every big company, there's a bunch of people, dudes, usually men and women, in a back room somewhere in the back of the office, crunching the numbers. The numbers matter. So they know what's profit, what's cost, and how to price jobs on purpose instead of guessing. All right, so let's look at some of these key terms, right? First, you want to understand profit. Profit is simply what's left over after you pay for all the job costs and overhead. Profit is what you actually keep. If you can't pay yourself, then you're not profiting. You're just moving money around. So what's markup? Markup is the extra percentage that you add to your cost to create your price. So example, a job costs $1,000. You add a 50% markup. The price is $1,500. Now, what's profit margin? Profit margin is the final percentage, right? That's the actual profit. So example, you sold the job for $15, you made $500 profit. That's a 33% margin, not 50%. So understand that markup and margin are not the same. This is a tip. If you want a 50% margin, you need to double your cost, 100% markup. And look, I know it's confusing. You don't just understand this when you're putting it into the chat GPT, that you need to know the correct term so that you get the right result. Because if you mess this up and you say, hey, chat GPT, I want a 33% margin, because you think you're going to make a 50% profit, right? You might not. You got to understand, what are you even saying? All right. So that's the first thing. Profit, markup, margin. You can go back. You can put that into chat. Just here's a basic way to start with ChatGPT. I'm a contractor. Explain the difference to me between profit, markup, margin. And tell it to me like I'm a third grader. Start with that. All right. Now, the 3 financial statements that you want to know. Even if you hate math, these 3 reports are the business scorecard. You got the income statement, profit and loss, right? That shows money in versus money out for a set period of time. It lets you see if you made money or lost money. So you'll look at these quarterly, right? Biannual and definitely annual for the year, for your business year. Balance sheet. You need to know this because you don't need to know it just if you want to be successful. So when I talk to you, understand that, right? This is just what successful people do. Those of you that want to fly by your seat of pants, have at it. All right. Balance sheet shows you what your company owns, as in it's yours, versus owes, which means it's others. This lets you know your net worth as a business. Some of you guys are like, I do $1 million a year, right? You don't have, so you think your business is worth that. Probably not, right? You do $500,000 a year in sales. You think it's worth $500,000. Your balance sheet's going to show you what your business is worth. Third and final statement, the statement of cash flows. This shows you where your cash that you thought was going into your pocket, where it's actually going. Maybe it is going into your pocket. Good for you. You get profit. You get to stay in business. You get to play the game again next year. All right. So profit on paper, it means nothing if your cash is gone. So if you can learn these 3 reports, you can run your business like a real CFO, even if you never even went to business school. So for the prompt challenge, I'm a remodeling contractor. I want to understand my business numbers in plain English. Explain the difference between profit, markup, and profit or margin. We just say margin usually. Then explain what an income statement, balance sheet, and statement of cash flows are and why each is important for a small, medium, large contracting, remodeling business. Finally, give me a simple weekly routine that I can follow to track my money and protect my profit. So when it comes to actually understanding your numbers, the days of writing it in a ledger are gone. The days of keeping it on an Excel or Google Sheets should be gone. You should have some sort of a system or software, but possibly look at having a bookkeeper. And it can be simple. You can just forward the bookkeeper your purchases, your receipts, right? You can scan them and send them over. You can use some sort of an app and get them over there. And your bookkeeper can put all this into the software, FreshBooks, QuickBooks, one of the, right? I'm not here to go into which accounting software should you be using. That's not the question. See, if you're spending 3 months trying to figure out which accounting software to be using, you're making a mistake. Really, you just need to be using an accounting software system. And over time, you'll figure out your accountant most likely, or your bookkeeper can guide you, and you may potentially switch. So for many years, QuickBooks has been key because many of your top accounting people are very familiar with QuickBooks. So for instance, what I do, I keep a Google Drive, like you keep a drive, a zip file, whatever, and you can put your QuickBooks on that drive and you can hand that over to your accountant, and then they can look at your numbers for you, and they can generate the reports if you don't want to or you're not sure. Your bookkeeper can do it, your accountant can do it, but at the end of the day, you need someone who can generate your reports. All right. So you got the income statement, the balance sheet, and the statement of cash flows. They're all important. And again, you just need to know how to get them. Now, all of this matters more after your first year in business. Your first year, it's going to be hard to figure out any of this. You just do the best you can, right? Because most of you just flying by to see your pants. But after the first full year, you'll have real numbers, okay? So again, use AI, and you could have it create a simple money guide. You could write down your last 3 jobs. You could look at what the job cost, right? You total up all your expenses. You look at your sale price. You can understand what was left over, right? And then you can check your business cash. How much do you really have on hand? Who owes you money? And there you go. So look, contractors who guess at numbers stay broke. Contractors who profit on purpose build businesses that last. Doesn't that sound great? All right. Hope you guys enjoy it. 3 simple terms to understand. You got profit, markup, margin. 3 simple statements that you should know. income statement, also known as the profit loss, balance sheet, statement of cash flows. You understand those, and you understand more than the average contractor. All right, guys, have a great night. Hope this was helpful. Do the best you can with it. Remember, you can learn it. Just because you don't know it currently doesn't mean you'll never will. So you can be better if you want to be. Take care.